I think next logical is definitely like rankings. So where do you put?
I think this is where we're gonna like disagree. And
We're gonna come to blows.
Yeah, we might fight. This could be the last episode.
Battle. Duel me 1v1.
Right. Okay. Oh god. Are we gonna go from worst to best or best?
Worst to best.
Worst to best. Oh god. Okay. Right. You're gonna. I'll go first.
I might put these like as a graphic on screen, like an actual ranking chart, so that it's clear to the audience. But
I'll try to be consistent and remember what I say from.
We may lie.
We may lie. I may be an idiot and forget things. Bottom. You're gonna hate me.
Okay.
I don't. I love all the games, but Dark Souls 2 is like the bottom.
Blasphemy!
Right. For multiple reasons, which we'll probably get into as the night goes on. I don't think Dark Souls 2 is as well made. I think the BT argument meme is bollocks. I just think it's not well made.
Well, I mean,
the talent was on Bloodborne.
The lead creative director was not the lead creative director of most of the Souls games. So I'll openly It was, I think, was it Shuhei Yoshida was the one who like did the majority of the. Jamie, pull that up. Was it Shuhei Yoshida?
This is why we need
a Jamie.
Yeah, this is why we need a Jamie.
But I think so different creative director for sure. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Carry on.
Yeah, but so Dark Souls 2 for various reasons at the bottom. And then, this is again where it could get spicy, and I get the feeling that if we get a lot of people watching this, they're probably going to fucking hate me. It's Elden Ring, man.
Entitled to your opinion.
This Elden Ring.
His second worst?
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it. I absolutely love it. Like, don't get me wrong.
That's surprising.
Yeah. Again, I'm trying to be a bit more objective about it. I guess we did say favourite. I don't know. It's hard for me to separate it. Yeah, I'll go with Elden Ring. It's by no means a bad game at all. I just think the other games do stuff better.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue.
That's sort of how I'm looking at this list. Yeah, the other games do stuff better. Then, Dark Souls 3, mate.
Okay. I don't think that one's controversial.
Yeah?
No. I think it sits about the same position for me.
Dark Souls 3... Oh, see, this is where it's hard, because Dark Souls 3 has some of the best fights in the series. Like, Dance of the Boreal Valley is like one of my favourite fights.
Yeah, it's a great fight.
The soundtrack's amazing.
Visually, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Visually, it's beautiful. Like, you have to learn, like, it's amazing. Like, I remember starting a new playthrough in Dark Souls 3 to fight the dancer early to see if I could do it. And
when you can kill the priestess
early, can't you? And, you know, even that version of the fight, even though you're, like, massively, like, disadvantaged, is still, like, just fucking great. Dark Souls 3 has, like, some of the best fights. It's sort of let down by your ability to R1 spam through the entire game.
Yeah.
That's sort of like what does it for me, is like I can just get the twin cell swords, the weapon I started with, and meat grind on my way through this game without any issue.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, someone may disagree, but I think poise is a little broken in 3. You know, it's just, you can poise through damn near anything.
Yeah.
Really. I think that he requires the strength emote, which I've just gotten and I can't find it now.
I'm not sure.
There
I've never really played them. Then...
Yeah.
Again, like every stage of this list is fucking agony to me because I love them all.
Pain. You're making me choose my children. This is
yeah.
I love them all equally. I tell them.
Oh god! I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm torn. So Dark Souls 3, then it's. I'm gonna say Sekiro.
So where are we now? How many from bottom is this?
This is third place. I think.
Third from bottom, or third place game.
This is third place.
Yeah.
Third. Yeah, it's Sekiro. The editing's going to fuck me there if I'm wrong. You're going to have fun with that.
We'll fix it in post.
Yeah, Sekiro. Absolutely love it. Very different game to the other ones, obviously.
If I don't die, by the way, we'll swap at the hour mark when the recording swaps.
Yeah, sure. I will die, I guarantee it.
I will die.
Yeah, Sekiro, love it. It's better storytelling. It's still FromSoft storytelling, which I have feelings about, but
feelings.
I have feelings about that, about the way they tell their stories. Yeah, Sekiro's great. Then it's Bloodborne to wrap up, because Bloodborne's fucking amazing. And then I think with a lot of people, Dark Souls 1's at the top. It's your first experience, isn't it? Nothing's quite like that.
It's the progenitor.
That first playthrough.
Technically, Demon Souls is the progenitor, but everyone thinks Dark Souls is the progenitor, so we'll stick with
Dark Souls is the one which got popular, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Demon Souls was like a beta test for the gameplay system on PlayStation, and then Dark Souls came out.
Gigabrad don't use no magic, so we're doing
we're not doing intelligence.
We're doing pure raw strength build. We're gonna club everything to death. Raw strength.
Oh, we're doing the whole playthrough of the club.
Well, it doesn't have to be the whole playthrough. Club like weapons.
What is a Giga Chad? Okay, right. We're off topic. We'll talk about that later.
We'll come back.
What is the Giga Chad weapon? What about you?
Have you done your whole list?
Yeah, that's me done. Yeah.
Okay. So right. Again, I might, much like Saul, I may just contradict myself at some point throughout this list, but I think at the bottom for me is Demon Souls, and the reason being that it's like, yes, it was the first foray. Yes, it's the OG, it's the original, but it was, I think, because it was their experimental, like, let's try this. It's the worst balanced out of all the games. Like it is at points at points remarkably easy, and at points just brutally difficult, and so for me, although it is dripping atmosphere, beautifully designed, and the OG that started it all, for me, it's just I think the least fun to play. The remaster is a different ball game, but I won't talk. I think when you come back to the remaster, you've got all the experience from the original playthrough.
I really should grab the remaster.
Yeah, I'm disappointed for
taking
so long.
Side tangent. Do you think I've got space on my arm for the Demon Souls logo?
I don't really have one as such.
That's what I was thinking about.
You'd have to get like the full flooded knight helmet tattooed on your arm.
Not doing that. I mean, I might.
We can put a reference photo of Saul's tattoos in the podcast.
Yeah.
For those that don't really know.
It's all gammy and horrible.
Yeah, it's getting it's crusty currently, but it's still a good representation. I mean, arguably the crusty version is the most accurate representation of a Souls game. Gore and crust and age. But I'll stay on topic. So, Demon Souls is bottom for me, but again, not because it's a bad game, just because I think it's like the most poorly balanced.
First, most basic. Gotcha.
And then it's probably Dark Souls 3, because by that point it felt like a lot of, let me just reference things from the previous games. Don't get me wrong, like the reuse of Gwyn's theme for the Lord of Cinder fight is a great moment, and it hit me right in the feels, to use internet terminology. It really did.
Yeah,
but I don't think it's as original.
So like side tangent with Dark Souls 3. I remember first coming into Dark Souls 3, and what's the name of the city?
Which city? Like the main city or
the
DLC?
City, the Night City.
Night
before Anor Londo.
Oh.
I forget, the one with Pontiff Sullivan in it.
This is why we need a GMA.
Yeah. I remember working my way through that city and going up the lift and being like, this looks familiar, and then bang! I'm in front of Anor Londo, and it hit me right in the nostalgia, and I was like, oh my god, it is all the cycle.
Boom, bang.
It is all the fucking cycle,
right
isn't
in the
it?
nostalgia.
Like, the law! Like,
more stones.
But, yeah, carry on with your list, yeah.
So I went, I do Demon Souls, then Dark Souls 3.
Yes.
And then...
it's tough, isn't it?
Yeah, it is tough, because you want to put all of them joint first.
Yeah, like you said, all my babies.
Next for me is probably... It's probably Sekiro. And again, potentially controversial, but to me, it's the hardest. It
is absolutely the hardest.
It kicked the shit out of me to the point where I almost stopped enjoying it.
Yeah.
And then I came back around on enjoying it again. It took me a long time to come back to Sekiro and finish it.
Yeah.
Just because I hit a wall where I was like, I'm just not good enough to do this, and I thought that's fine.
It took me ages.
I'm good at 90% of the Souls games, so I'll just put this one aside.
I can take the L on this one.
Yeah, and then I'd probably go Elden Ring, because again, it's just a very broad smattering of Souls concepts without being as refined. I feel like I like George R. R. Martin a lot, and I feel like his role in this was really overplayed.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was convinced
every time someone mentions George R. R. Martin's involvement, I immediately go, "What? Oh yeah, he did it. Yeah." I'm always like,
"Yeah, what did he do?
What did he do? I know his initials are in the game as major characters. I know that like that.
He added lots of alliterative names.
Yeah,
That's
he added lots of names, and he probably did the incest bit.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah. I'm surprised there's not more inter-family murder going on as well. You know, really, that should have a core theme.
I mean, Ronnie and Godwin Golden.
Yeah, there we go. So he got his major themes in there, which is incest and inter-family murder.
Yeah.
Okay, so what have we done? Just to recap, I've got Demon Soul.
You've done Demon Souls. You've done Sekiro, Elden Ring.
Okay. No, Dark Souls 3. You've skipped Dark Souls 3.
Sorry, yeah, Dark Souls
Demon Souls, Dark Souls 3, Sekiro, and Elden Ring. Then Dark Souls 1.
Really?
Yeah, Dark Souls 1. Because even though it is my favourite of the Souls games, well, not my favourite, it's the first of the real Souls games, and one that I really love. Dark Souls 2 Scholar beats it for me because I don't know. This is an irrational decision. I just have a lot of weird affection for that game. I just think it's really good, even though it isn't. But I think it is, and that's enough for me.
Funny enough, Dark Souls 2, between Dark Souls 2 and Scholar.
Oh, Scholar, I'm using the Scholar version as my reference point.
I'm just saying, that is between those two versions of this game. Like Dark Souls 2.
I couldn't possibly justify Vanilla 2 as the best as my favourite Souls game. I'm already dead. I couldn't possibly justify Vanilla 2 as my favourite Souls game, but I can justify Scholar as my favourite.
It is the most of any Dark Souls game I've ever played.
Yeah.
Between those two versions of the game. Thank you.
So yeah, it goes...
How do I play this?
It goes Dark Souls 1, then it goes Bloodborne, because I love Lovecraft so much.
Yeah.
And it's just such a cool... the atmosphere... And it's so aggressive. I could go on and on. I could wax lyrical about that game for a long time, and I will because it's my podcast and I do what I want. But Bloodborne is just excellent.
Yeah,
it's truly like Sekiro. It's its own beast, and I almost feel weird qualifying it as a Souls game. It's a different thing.
Yeah,
but it's right there. For me.
Is that your list?
No, I've got one more. The first one, very top for me, is Dark Souls 2 Scholar, the First Sin, and I don't care why. It's my favourite, and I love it.
Yeah, but I feel like we got to agree that this is where we're going to have a fight. You got to admit, it's not, the best made.
Right? No, not at all.
Right.
I very blatantly admit that it's a bias thing.
Yeah.
I think it hit for me at the right time, in the right circumstance. I was younger, I wasn't as busy, I poured all the time in the world into it. I played it over and over. I explored every inch, and then I wanted more desperately. And then they New Game Plus remixed the game,